You know, like most people, I had heard the name many times. Everybody knew the name Gideon. People see it in cartoons, Gideon Gray, and people have used the names of movies, the 300. But his actual story is very limited. Most people have no idea who this fella is. Even after reading the Bible several times, his story remained fairly obscure. Old Testament hero. He's in exactly 100 verses in 3 chapters, Judges 6, 7, and 8, 7 pages. That's not a lot of story. So people have delved into it a little bit, but not at any great length. And I was reading the Bible. It was my 5th pass through the Bible. I had made one of the bucket list deals to read the Bible cover to cover. Well, it got to be a habit, and I still do it to this day. I'm on my 6th pass now, and I was on the 5th pass, and 2 phrases in Gideon jumped out at me. One was, take them to the waters, even the Beth Barah. And that kind of fascinated me. It reminded me of Moby Dick, Ishmael saying that all water leads to the sea. So something stirred my imagination, and I started digging down to see what that meant. And the more I dug, the more fascinated it became. It was a military dispatch to the tribe of Ephraim to cut across to the Beth Barah, which is the only shallow waters of the whole Jordan River. There was no bridges. So if you're going to cross over into Canaan, or now Israel, the only place you were going to cross over the Jordan River was at the Beth Barah, which means Bethany over the Jordan. And so Gideon was planning on driving the remaining horde of Midianites, and Ephraim, he was expecting to be waiting for them like hounds to the hunter. That was the plan. And I said, wow, that's exciting. That got it started. The other phrase that jumped off the page was on chapter 8. It's the end of Gideon's story, right? And he's got the 2 Midian kings in custody. He's used them up. He's conquered the Midian Empire and captured the 2 kings. And he had no use for them anymore. But he kind of liked them. But they were a drag on his travel at this point, and he had no reason to keep them. And then he said something that turned the whole idea of Gideon around. He turned around to him and said, you know, I would have left you alive, but you killed the sons of my mother, even my brethren. Sons of my mother? Who said? Nobody said that. I've never heard that before. Well, it's sons of your mother or your brothers, even my brethren. And he states at Tabor or Tabor. I Googled it, and it turns out that's Judges 4 and 5. The 900 chariots of iron, Sisera, Jael, who does the tent peg in the enemy's head, Deborah, the prophetess who lived under the palms. All these characters, the Jabin king of kings of Canaan, all these fascinating characters started coming alive. I had to create Gideon's brothers and the 2 kings as princes at that battle. It was a fascinating, so Gideon is chasing the Midian kings because it's a blood feud. He's not chasing them just because they're Midian kings. He's out to get them to avenge his brother's deaths. And that's what got me started with Gideon.